Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on this evening, guys? This is the Club of the Man, 1993. And let me just get this out there before I start this stream. I am tired. I am drained. My adrenaline all week has really, gone up and down from being in New York and being in WrestleMania to getting back and just things not so much on the go anymore, and me trying to catch up with all these reviews that I just did, even doing the NXT review, which I didn't think I was going to be reviewing this week. I'm drained out. But tomorrow, I'm on a tight schedule this whole weekend. So I didn't want to cancel my special stream of the week, but this is going to be my special stream of the week. My 2019 WWE Superstar Shakeup predictions. So I had to sit down and think these out. I'm all set with them, but then there is a problem with with a couple of them because of a situation I thought of, but then I think about it again, I'm like, oh shoot, that's right, it can't be that way. So I kind of, put back myself into a corner with these predictions. Now, the thing is, though, is I predicted not just for Raw and SmackDown. I predicted a couple superstars to go 205 Live, a couple superstars to go to NXT UK, and I did pick a couple stars also to go to just regular NXT. So, without further ado, guys, first, let's check the live chat, see if we got anyone here. We just have Dakota in the live chat. What's up, my friend? Hope you're feeling better. Mention how Dave Meltzer apparently gave Gargano and Ciampa his highest star rating ever, and Gargano and Cole 5.5 stars. Interesting. I mean, again, that was a good match. The first two falls, I still say, I feel was more so like, if the first two falls felt like it was just, a typical match you see on like Raw or NXT or whatnot. It was good, but it didn't hit the classic until the high note of classic until the battle for that third fall. So I don't know if I give it 5.5 stars, but of course, the storytelling in that third fall was awesome. But I definitely think, maybe 5, but still, congratulations to them for sure for getting that rating for sure. And what's up on No Laura saying Ruby Riott to SmackDown. I didn't have that one of my predictions, but that would not be a bad idea either, though, actually thinking about it now to create some more depth in the SmackDown women's division. Of course, we're not 100% sure where the women's division is going from here because of, Becky Lynch holding both titles as we speak right now. But with of course, her holding both titles. And, we're not sure, if they're going to merge for sure, or if, is this just going to be, just the thing with this Becky and getting that big moment by holding both championships, and eventually, someone will take one off of her or something. I don't know. And of course, with, the Money in the Bank ladder match coming up next month, what's going to happen as far as, when they cash in. Because if they cash in, they're only going to be taking one title or taking both titles, and they pick which one. We'll have to wait and see. But all I know is right now, Becky Lynch is in the feud with Lacey Evans. That's all I basically know. But Ruby Riott to SmackDown actually would not be a bad idea. What's up, Robbie? Ruby Riott with one T, as it should be, for sure. And Randy Orton going to Raw. Definitely think that needs to happen. But, of course, we will get to that all as I give you my list of my predictions for the Superstar Shakeup. I will start with, the couple picks. I think we move into some of the smaller brands, and we'll talk about that. So, for 205 Live, I can see there's two people I think that we should consider moving to 205 Live. The first one is Tyler Breeze. Now, I think Tyler Breeze is like 210 or something like that. Like he's a little bit over the 205 weight limit that he has to, you have to be under to wrestle in this division. 1 second. Anyways, but I feel like with the point he's at right now, his tag team partner Fandango has been gone for almost a year now. I can't remember the last time we've seen Fandango on TV after the Fashion Police moved over to Raw last year. And he's been reduced to nothing but, just nothing but basically just jobbing out to someone either, on main event or just on Raw in general. I mean, the best he's done is a match on NXT. I mean, if you want to put him back on NXT, awesome. And have a feud with, he was a surprise, appearance on NXT a couple months ago when he had a great North American title match with Ricochet. Just again, reminded, hey, this guy is pretty darn talented. He may not be world champion material, but he's definitely a mid-card, champion for sure. So to kind of, reignite that fire again. I mean, if you want to put him back in NXT, that's fine. But for something different, since, I feel like, there are some stars in the cruiserweight division that I feel could be moving around also. So why not put another big name in there who can definitely, benefit from getting, a fire lit underneath him again, and, be able to work under Triple H and, kind of fit in with, a show that is more about the wrestling ability, which, yes, Tyler Breeze has a character that for sure, was a hit in NXT. But his wrestling ability, of course, needs to stand a little more also. So I feel, maybe put him on 205 Live, where if it's a face or a heel, could help, put a fresh face for some fresh competition against some of these, big name stars in the division for sure. The other person I would like to see maybe get some time in on 205 Live is Jordan Devlin from NXT UK. Right now, we have one heel in Buddy Murphy who I would like to see change brands. Now, of course, I'll share which brand I can see him going to. So that's one heel we're losing. Only Lorcan's up now, and he's a heel on 205 Live, but he still is a face on NXT. He still has something to prove, but I feel eventually he could be something in the cruiserweight division. Of course, you have Leo Rush, who hasn't been used on 205 Live much anymore, but I definitely feel like if anyone, he may be a top contender to be, to dethrone Tony Nese eventually. I want to see Tony Nese get a good length, and of course, I want to give another week or so to see which direction we're going to go with Tony Nese also before I do a turn alert for him. Because, yes, he was the babyface in the Buddy Murphy feud. But, again, last year, he was he briefly turned face in his feud with Drew Gulak before turning heel again 2 weeks later. That's why I'm waiting to see where we're going with that. But I feel Jordan Devlin, he's already had one UK title opportunity against Pete Dunne. He lost. It seems right now he is going to be the next one to want to, challenge Walter after Walter and Pete Dunne have a rematch. And I don't know, maybe they'll have Devlin try to beat Dunne first or something like that before he gets this opportunity against Walter. But after that, with 2 championship opportunities, what's he gonna do? He's one person I feel like that he's already gotten pretty high up on the level. Pete Dunne and Jordan Devlin, I feel have gone to almost feel their highest points now with the UK brand. So, in my opinion, it might be time to consider maybe another option for Jordan Devlin. Maybe you put him in NXT, cool. But to give a fresh heel on the 205 Live roster, why not try him on 205 Live? I mean, I feel it could work. I'd be interested in seeing him wrestle, against several superstars on 205 Live, even if they are on there, even if they. Some of course, moved on to, a different brand for sure. Eventually, we can see, him wrestle other people. Of course, I'm so glad we got to see him and Finn Balor wrestle at TakeOver Blackpool for sure, which I thought was, a good match. Wasn't a classic, but it happened on the right brand, and it was the match I wanted to see. So Jordan Devlin and Tyler Breeze should go to 205 Live. To NXT UK, I have one person who's already kind of had one championship match in NXT UK. Well, technically two, is a tag title match and a UK title match. Danny Burch. Because obviously, again, I don't know what's going to be happening with Oni Lorcan. I'm not sure if him and Burch are going to be staying as a tag team in NXT, which I'd love to see them continue as a tag team because they're still an awesome tag team. But are they going to be someone who really, going to be meant for the main roster, though, as a tag team, though? That's my thing. So, like, if Oni is going to be going somewhere as a single star to get, some more experience there, why not have Danny Burch continue, full-time as, like, a single star also in NXT UK? Another superstar I feel should be in NXT UK also is Gentleman Jack Gallagher. I mean, he just turned face the other night when he turned on Drew Gulak during his match with Humberto Carrillo. So, I mean, like, Gallagher, I feel, could definitely contend for the Cruiserweight Championship, but also to give him some other material to work with, why not give him some time also in NXT UK? He's British. He had a great match a couple of years ago with Tyler Bate when he was United Kingdom champion. But I feel like, he could definitely benefit. Like, I kind of like, what Noam Dar, which, by the way, I did read somewhere that Noam Dar's knee injury he suffered against Mark Andrews recently is not that severe. Apparently, it's just like a sprain and like a bruised bone or something like that. So it's not that bad. So thank the Lord. So he should be back soon. Maybe we'll see a rematch between him and Mark Andrews. That was a really good match on NXT UK a couple weeks ago, like right at the like sometime in March it was. But so I gotta say those two for NXT. You go to NXT UK, and then just to go into NXT, the two superstars I picked is Rhea Ripley, because obviously, again, she's had her run with the UK Women's title. It was very brief, but it was just kind of give her a little bit of a rub before giving it to Toni Storm, and then well, just also to have like a more credible contender for Toni to eventually take the UK Women's title off of her. So we have that. We have her, but I feel like after she's obviously going to be having a match eventually with Piper Niven, probably to put over Piper. And I still see either Piper Niven or Kaylee Ray being the one to dethrone Toni Storm of the UK Women's title eventually down the line. I'd say maybe sometime in the summer, maybe. We'll see that happen. But after that, like Rhea's not gonna have much left to do in the UK, and she's a huge star. I definitely see her being, a women's champion on the main roster someday. So just to give her some fresh competition until she's ready for the main roster, why not put her on regular NXT? If they want to have her again, my prediction still is Candice LeRae to dethrone Shayna Baszler at either the next takeover or takeover Toronto 2 SummerSlam weekend. So I think Rhea Ripley is destined to be on the main roster eventually, but I feel like she may need some fresh competition to move her over to NXT. The other superstar I want to see go to NXT is Drew Gulak. I've really liked where Drew Gulak has gone since Triple H taking over 205 Live. I mean, I was starting to get a little bit interested in him when he was kind of being teased as a possible contender for Enzo's Cruiserweight Championship when he was supposed to have that match with Cedric Alexander to see who would actually no, I'm sorry. He was supposed to have a match with Rich Swann to determine who would face Enzo in his next defense. But then of course when Rich Swann got in trouble and then he eventually got parted ways with WWE. But and of course this whole thing, except for his feud with the Brian Kendrick, I wasn't really a big fan of that feud, how it went down. But with with him losing both of his partners basically, again, he's already had a couple cruiserweight title opportunities. He's been in several number one contenders matches. I mean, he could have a match with Tony Nese still. He can still do stuff on 205 Live, but I feel to give him something fresh because again, I could see him eventually also maybe being on Raw or SmackDown. But to give him some fresh competition, why not give him a shot on NXT as well? So those are, the two to go to NXT, I gotta say. So for the smaller brands, for 205 Live, I'd like to see Jordan Devlin and Tyler Breeze go 205 Live. For NXT UK, I'd like to see Gentleman Jack Gallagher and Danny Burch go there. And for NXT, I'd like to see Drew Gulak and Rhea Ripley. Anybody in the live chat? Daniel Bryan to Raw. What's up, Elite Squad? I could possibly see it happening. I'm not. I don't have it in my predictions, but I can see it happening. I can see it as a possibility to give Bryan something fresh to do. Although there's one superstar, which, before we also start with the Raw and SmackDown predictions, I want to mention two superstars that could be getting called up, maybe for a shakeup, if not, sometime this summer for sure. They'll probably be getting called up, and where I think it should go. So I'd be okay with Bryan going to Raw, but there's one superstar I want him to feud with that's not on the main roster yet, and I'd rather see that feud happen on SmackDown. Which, by the way, guys, in case you didn't hear also, apparently today Road Dogg stepped down as head writer for SmackDown. So hopefully SmackDown get a little bit better. But, props to Road Dogg for sticking up for, himself and being tired of Vince McMahon, just giving him a hard time, basically. But yeah, Kairi Sane to SmackDown and Candice. Kairi, yes. Candice, not yet, because I still feel the story here is she's going to be the one, based off her last week saying that she wants to go through the rest of the women's division to get her title opportunity. I think she, maybe by the end of the year, if not, definitely by next year's WrestleMania, Candice LeRae will be on the main roster. But that's not a bad prediction at all. No, Laura. John Cena to SmackDown full-time. If he comes back full-time, I'd rather have him on SmackDown, obviously. Usos to Raw. What's up, TN Coupon? And Braun Strowman to SmackDown. Nice. Undertaker to SmackDown. I mean, I don't think the Undertaker's going to back to wrestle full-time anymore, but if you want to put him on SmackDown, fine me. Sin Cara to 205 Live. Actually, yes. I thought a couple years ago he was, when the first Cruiser division came back, I thought he did briefly join the division, but I guess he did in the end. So, but I definitely think Sin Cara is 205 Live. He's not going to do anything else, on Raw or SmackDown. Buddy Murphy to Raw because of Alexa Bliss. Maybe kind of took my prediction right there, but yes, for sure. Naomi to Raw. If the Usos go to Raw, Naomi's going to Raw too. Drew to SmackDown. McIntyre, I guess, but I still feel like he's more fit on Raw right now. But if he goes to SmackDown and he dethrones Kofi for a title reign again, no problem. Add Raul Mendoza to 205 Live. I forgot about Raul Mendoza. That actually be a good idea also to add more depth. Hey, he's not doing anything on NXT, put on 205 Live. That's a good pick, Elite Squad. Kevin Owens to Raw. If he didn't just, come back from an injury on the SmackDown, I'd say cool. But, right now, unless they want to switch him and Sammy, but again, I feel, him and Sammy need to be on individual brands for at least 1 year just to give them something fresh to do and get away from each other. Not just, again, they're awesome together, don't get me wrong. They put on good matches, even though we've seen it how many times already, and I still need to see that I Quit match between them. I want to see someday. But I feel like, they can't always be, latched onto each other. I feel like they do need to separate themselves for a year. Bryan to Raw. Bobby Roode to SmackDown. Maybe. I wouldn't mind that one. Pete Dunne to SmackDown. Dunne versus Samoa Joe. Be a great U.S. title feud for sure. Roman Reigns to SmackDown. Maybe. Braun Strowman to SmackDown. Yes, I agree with that one. Rock to SmackDown. He was back full-time, yes, but that's not going to happen, unfortunately. Revival on SmackDown. Yes. And Dean to SmackDown. If he stays, maybe. We'll see. But thank you for your predictions in the live chat, guys. Let's talk about let's see who I think is going to go to Raw from SmackDown. Well, first, there's two people I do want to mention. Johnny Gargano and the Undisputed Era. Obviously, I feel that if Tommaso Ciampa did not get hurt, him and Johnny both maybe doing some up on the main roster, on the main roster, since they were called up the same time as Aleister Black and Ricochet were. But now with Ciampa injured, either way, Johnny was going to win the NXT Championship anyways. They probably would have still done something on the main roster. Because I kept saying for months, those two, they couldn't have one, the loser of the feud come up before the other one. I felt it had to be like a Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn thing, where the one with more power or the more momentum had to come up, and the other one had to get their come up as first. Like this one, I felt like they both go up at the roster at the same time, or something had to happen to make it. Not okay, Tommaso Ciampa drops the title, but yeah, he goes up to the main roster, and Johnny's still down NXT. So I do feel Johnny could be up on the main roster full-time by SummerSlam. And if he is, and if Daniel Bryan's still on SmackDown, I want to see Johnny Gargano versus Daniel Bryan at SummerSlam. That's a match I want. Just a singles match. I want to see that match at SummerSlam. It could be a classic. And Undisputed Era, I feel, at some point this summer will be up again. I'm not, with a teasing of Roderick Strong being kicked out of the era, I'm not sure if they would all four come up and go to. I mean, I feel they should go to Raw, create depth in that tag team division. I've always thought if they would put Roderick Strong on 205 Live, because he did have a run in the Cruiserweight Championship tournament last year, and it was great. So I'm not sure, maybe just for like a year to give some more depth in there, put Roddy on there, and then eventually put him on Raw or SmackDown as like a solid mid-card contender for sure. But I think at some point they'll be going to Raw also. I mean, another person I'll throw out there maybe is Velveteen Dream. I feel SummerSlam he could be up on the main roster, but I want to see him get like a good reign with the North American title. So we'll see, of course, where that goes for Dream as well. But he's definitely going to be up sometime this year. But Superstar has to see going to Raw. A possibility is Samoa Joe. Still is U.S. champion, but then I thought, here's the thing. I thought maybe we're going to be getting a feud with Samoa Joe and Braun Strowman for the U.S. title. Maybe, Strowman would dethrone Joe and go to SmackDown with the U.S. title. However, there's another certain person that I really still, even though he has a title right now, I really still think needs to go to SmackDown. So maybe we do see a match with Braun and Joe, but Joe gets the win. Because let's face it, guys. I probably said this in my SmackDown review. What big name has Samoa Joe gotten a win over so far? I mean, yes, he did beat Roman Reigns in his first match on Raw, but he had a little bit of help and whatnot. But since then, who has he beaten? Like, what big name has Joe beaten that really can, raise up to another level? Maybe a win over Strowman, honestly, would. I mean, it would suck for Strowman, but a win over Joe getting a win over Strowman, I feel would definitely benefit Joe for sure. Of course, get the Braun going a little bit also, but so that's kind of that's like my little dead end I hit. Like I was about to start, but like, oh wait a second, that's right, because someone else I predicted to move over to SmackDown, so Braun couldn't win the U.S. title and go to SmackDown, which that's one of my predictions. But if a certain other person almost go to SmackDown, then Joe with the U.S. title has to go to Raw. So that's one pick I have. I have 13 picks, by the way, for each brand. The number 2 and 3, the Bar and the Usos. At this point, if the Bar is going to, if Drew McIntyre is going to stay on Raw, and they're already teasing this alliance with them in the Bar, then so be it. Cool, go for it. At least make the Bar, coming over to Raw, make it a little more sense. And the Usos also, so they dropped the tag titles. They're like, what else did they really have to do on SmackDown? I mean, unless they. Well, again, another prediction I have is the Revival going over to SmackDown. They want the Usos and Revival. Cool, but Raw is desperate for a couple teams that are definitely a lot more established. And I feel, the Bar and the Usos have both done all they could on SmackDown. And the Bar and Usos haven't really had, didn't really have like a legitimate one-on-one feud. So that could add some depth into the division as well. Even if any of them want to feud the Undisputed Era, go for it. Although, if the plan is eventually to split up the Bar and give Cesaro a singles push, though, then I'd say I would rather have like maybe Sanity come over to Raw or something like that. Well, then again, Nikki Cross would have to come over to Raw too. I guess, I don't know. Even though I predicted her to go to SmackDown, would be with Sandy. But again, if the plan is eventually to split up the Bar, I want Cesaro to get a singles push. I'd rather have it on SmackDown. So then I had that. But I say the Bar and the Usos will go to Raw, create some depth in that tag division. Again, Undisputed Era, we got some legitimate teams in that division. Randy Orton going to Raw. He's, again, I kept saying, the loser of the AJ Styles and Orton match will go to Raw. I mean, AJ can maybe go to Raw someday, but I still feel like he's built up that strong reputation for his career on SmackDown. And I feel SmackDown is his home. Yes, bring in some other superstars over there to get the fresh matches for him for sure. Again, the number one match, I still want to see AJ Styles and Alexander be an awesome match, but I do want to see AJ Styles and Seth Rollins in the next year. That is my next number one dream match, I gotta say. But Randy Orton, I think definitely, he's been on both shows his whole career. It's time for him for a fresh, change for him as well. He can go over to Raw and feud with Rollins again if he wants to. We haven't seen that feud for a while. If he wants to have a match with Roman, awesome. McIntyre maybe, Joe. If I are saying Joe's going over to Raw and a few others as well. Aleister Black might pick mine to go to Raw. So maybe he can feud. I think he'll have a feud eventually with Aleister Black, the Serpent versus the Dutch Destroyer. So I think I think so. I think Randy Orton goes to Raw, and of course again I said Aleister Black also going to Raw. Also, Buddy Murphy I would think should go to Raw. I think he'll be much fitted to Raw. Also, I mean he's done all he can to crew the division. If you put on SmackDown, cool. But again, Alexa Bliss is on Raw. Originally, I thought Alexa was going to go to SmackDown, but then I had someone else that wanted to go. I think they should go to SmackDown now, unless if they do something, which I'll get to that shortly because we need to talk about this person based off some news we heard about them today. I think Buddy Murphy though will go to Raw for sure. I think he'd be more of a fit there. Lacey Evans, obviously Vince has sees her through rose-colored glasses. He's going to put her on Raw. Lacey's going to Raw. That's all I'm going to say about Lacey. Heavy Machinery, because I feel like Raw can use more depth in their tag division again. Of all the that batch of call ups so far, well again, Lars has finally made it to the main roster. We'll see what happens with him. I feel like Heavy Machinery though has been had decent momentum so far on the main roster. So put them on Raw also get some depth in there because SmackDown will be fine with the depth that they have right now. And of course who they're going to get in the shakeup. So Heavy Machinery goes to Raw. Lars Sullivan, I think, will stay on Raw. I already said Aleister Black. Naomi will come over to Raw for women. If Shayna Baszler gets called up, she's going to Raw. That's my number 11. Number 12, Shinsuke Nakamura. Why is him and Rusev a tag team? Again, maybe give Nakamura some fresh competition, and Raw has some bigger names, so maybe put him on Raw and see where they go from there. They can turn face again, who knows, or keep him as a heel. Just something. If not, then Nakamura's probably gone within another year. Who knows? But Nakamura, I say goes to Raw, and number 13, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne going to Raw again. If you want to have him feud with Joe for the U.S. title, awesome. I feel like he can have some good matches with McIntyre or Roman or even Seth and Buddy Murphy. Also, I was pitching for that match when Survivor Series happened. When Survivor Series happened last year, I thought maybe we were going to see that match, on the pre-show or something like that, UK champion versus Cruiserweight champion, but we didn't see that, and maybe we can see it again some other time. Sorry, I just want to answer this message. So I think Pete Dunne would be a good mix on Raw. So my superstars I see going to Raw are if Undisputed Era get called up, them. Samoa Joe, The Bar, The Usos, Orton, Murphy, Lacey Evans, Heavy Machinery, Lars Sullivan, Aleister Black, Naomi, Shayna Baszler, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Pete Dunne, I think will go to Raw. Live chat. Let's see what we got here. Don't put AJ on Raw. I agree. And don't put Brock on SmackDown. Oh, dear Lord, no. Again, I heard a rumor that they were considering putting Brock on SmackDown because of, them going to Fox and have him be the one to dethrone Kofi Kingston. No, again, if Brock wants to stay in WWE, have him have non-title feuds, whether it's against, it's not going to be against Batista, or if it's Bobby Lashley, or I don't know, who else would you want to see Brock Lesnar feud with, honestly, at this point? But either way, if he wants to do a non-title feud, fine. Just no more of these championship reigns. It's hurting the show he is on. I repeat, do not put Brock Lesnar on SmackDown. In fact, Brock, go back to UFC. You've done all you can do. Again, yes, you put on some good matches. You have some great accomplishments. You had some moments that I definitely enjoyed, but I'm just not digging it anymore. It's time for something fresh. It's time to move on from this thingamajig, whatever you want to call it. But yeah. Don't put Ray on Raw. Yeah, I feel Ray's more SmackDown. Yeah, Charlotte again, whether Becky Lynch, whatever brand she stays on, once she either drops one of the titles or she just drops both of them in general. I definitely say keep Becky and Charlotte on separate brands for sure, because they've done their thing right now. It's time to take a break from each other. I heard Fox wants Brock and Ronda to be on SmackDown. Yeah, I heard that too. They will probably put Ali on Raw. I feel more comfortable with Mustafa Ali on SmackDown, honestly. I think Joe beat Ray. Yep. Keep Seth on Raw for sure. Joe beat Jeff. That is true. There's a few names bigger names he's bet, but like lately, I feel like he had to be R-Truth for the U.S. title. I don't know. I feel like Joe could have like used like that one or two more big names he could defeat. Again, I still feel he should have won that match with Roman Reigns at Backlash last year. That was a terrible match. And the thing is those two, who's won or not, had a history of having some really good matches for sure. Again, Joe's first match on the main roster, they had that triple threat match with Braun Strowman. The Intercontinental title match they had on the first Raw of 2018 was a great match. And then they had this Backlash match, and it was just Joe beat down on Roman and then did rest holds for the next 20 minutes just to allow Roman to, regain himself and come back and boom, win. But yeah, those are definitely to mention. Keep New Day on SmackDown for sure. Put Becky on Raw and vacate the SmackDown Women's Championship, maybe. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you, Tina Couponer. Everyone to SmackDown, which would be a good idea. Can you imagine Asuka and Moon as a tag team? Which I'd be up for giving that a try. I am starting to feel that Asuka should turn Asuka heel, though, because of who I think is going to be on, or which two people could be going to SmackDown. Put Bray on SmackDown. That was not one of my picks, but honestly, yes. Bray should go to SmackDown. I feel he'll be much better there, especially with Road Dogg gone for sure. I don't know if anyone's going to replace Road Dogg, but we'll see. Put Bobby Lashley on SmackDown with Leo Rush. I mean, I didn't put it in my pictures, but I'd be up for that. I wouldn't mind seeing Bobby Lashley get a shot. I mean, I know Bobby Lashley still isn't that big of a hit right now. Not really a big hit for me still, but I still am appreciating the fact that he's not going in there and being, slow, just showing off his physique all the time, which again drives me up a freaking tree. And like I said in my NXT UK review, I am tired of those heels who are not just always cowards, but those heels who always act like they think it's always going to be a walk in the park, and yet they lose. Like, they don't need to always do that either. That's another pet peeve of mine. So Bobby Lashley going to SmackDown, I'm up for giving a shot as well, especially of course with who's in charge now, just Ryan Ward. I don't know if anybody else is going to replace Road Dogg, but we will see. What's up, Jay? He just says, let's put Bobby Lashley in the unemployment line. Dang. Yeah, because he's just had a bad rep. Again, I felt Bobby should have just left after he beat Roman at Extreme Rules, and the following week Roman beats him, and then that would have meant absolutely nothing. I really felt Bobby should have just left there because, man, he's just been thrown to some garbage crap since he came back. Remember? Sandy, it's good to see you again, buddy. I remember a couple weeks ago, Robbie, if you're still in the live chat, when I was trying to find a segment, like a YouTube clip of when he said that to send us to you, Robbie, to troll you. Again, I could not find anyone, but I actually did watch the clip from the Bobby Sisters segment. Very painful, of course. Bobby Lashley flat out thanked Sami Zayn for doing that. Thank you for doing this to me, Sami. Thank you very much. Why that segment, of course, was so bad. One of the reasons why that segment was so bad. And one of the worst, well, again, it wasn't my worst for 2018. My worst was anything involving AOP, of course. And, of course, the catering segment. You're in! Okay, oh, my gosh, I can't say that word anymore because I'm annihilated by that. But, anyways, nope, not now. But yeah, Bobby Lashley unemployment mine is quite funny, Jay. But thank you for joining me in the live chat, Jay. Let's of course do the Google thing. I think I'm gonna go to SmackDown, and I'm checking because I'm tired. But for SmackDown, so again, before I said Samoa Joe's gonna go to Raw, and of course, I said maybe he'll drop the U.S. title to Braun Strowman next week. But of course, there's someone else thinking he's going to SmackDown. It's Finn Balor. I know Finn's IC Intercontinental champion right now, but I still think he needs a refresh. He needs a change in scenery. And, right now with just Ryan Ward in charge of SmackDown again, it's a golden opportunity now to have Finn Balor, under his writing again as he was in NXT. I think, it would be a good idea to move him over, put the IC title back on SmackDown. And see what he does over there, and maybe eventually he can win the WWE title for sure, and get back, get onto a level of a title that he never lost. He had to be vacated. Yes, he's had a couple of opportunities for it, within the past, 6 to 9 months or so. Hasn't won it, of course, but he definitely deserves an opportunity again. So Finn Balor, I think he's going to SmackDown. Another team, like, obviously, one of the weaker teams on Raw, which there's how many of them, of course, should go to SmackDown as the B team. Put the B team on SmackDown. No one's going to care anyways. Braun Strowman, of course, is going to go to SmackDown. Again, he's taken us a huge hit over the past year in his career, and it feels like him being on Raw is just not going to get him out of this big hole he's in right now. So put him on SmackDown. Just start over with Braun Strowman on SmackDown. Give him some fresh shit, but he needs to go to SmackDown. He's done on Raw. He's done all he can do on Raw. He's had some great moments on Raw, Braun, but it's time to make SmackDown your show now. So Braun goes to SmackDown. The Revival. They just dropped the Raw tag titles. They're a part of a division that's just so crappy right now that honestly, I know I would like to see them feud with the Usos, but the Usos I think are going to go to Raw now. But they can feud with Gallows and Anderson. Well, they've had a match with them already. The Hardys. I want to see a match with the Revival and the Hardys for the tag titles. Maybe get Sanity rolling again and whatnot. Any other couple tag teams that are on SmackDown as well. But I think, the Revival should go to SmackDown for sure. Hopefully treated better there. Elias, I wouldn't mind seeing switch brands. I mean, he can stay on Raw. He'll be fine. But I think on SmackDown, he'd be even more interesting. So I'll put him on there. Ember Moon, just to bulk up some, depth in the women's division. We can have Ember Moon and Asuka feud again. I still like Larry, I know you're not allowed to chat, but King Larry the First had a prediction for the Royal Rumble of Ember Moon winning it and then challenging Asuka in a rematch at WrestleMania. That would have been a really good match to have on the WrestleMania card for sure, and I would believe it would have been good. So yeah, Ember Moon. All right, a big one here going to SmackDown. Sasha Banks. We've heard rumors that Sasha Banks canceled an appearance on some, show like at the last minute. And apparently Sasha is really unhappy with WWE right now. And you know what? I don't blame her. I mean, Bayley should be in the same boat too. And apparently Sasha's tried to quit after WrestleMania. Keep this in mind. I thought about this too before. Sasha and Bayley had a very brief, surprising ending, brief women's tag title run. They won them at Chamber, and then they beat Nia Jax and Tamina at Fastlane, and then they dropped into the Iconics at WrestleMania. So now what? And keep this in mind too. They went through a terrible year in 2018. All they did was have matches with the Riot Squad week in and week out. Week in and week out. Here and there, back and forth, just them all the freaking time. It just watered it down. It made no sense. And apparently, and they had a great build at the start of a possible feud between the two of them. But then every time they were getting somewhere, they backed off. They were getting somewhere again. They backed off. And then they tried to pull a Team Hell No, do the whole counseling thing, and it was boring. They just showed them talking to Dr. Shelby. Didn't do any segments other than, them mocking each other. Oh, I'm a hugger. I'm a boss. And they teased a lesbian storyline with them too, which was weird as hell. Which again, all respect to gays, but again, I don't feel Sasha and Bayley were meant to be for a lesbian storyline. Because the rumors have they were supposed to win these tag titles at SummerSlam last year, but then Vince didn't like the belt design, so they scratched it. So you had these two women, two of the four horsewomen, who literally have raised the bar so high for women's wrestling. You booked them like shit the past year. Yes, you gave her a great title match they had at the Royal Rumble with Ronda and Sasha. And then to thank them, you give them just a very brief tag title reign. Like, they didn't get to defend. They only had one match on SmackDown. They didn't defend the titles. They lost the Iconics. They didn't get to defend those titles in NXT, for crying out loud. Like, my honest opinion, again, think about this. The next takeover is in San Jose, Bayley's hometown. Wouldn't it have been very fitting to have Sasha and Bayley defend the NXT Tag Team Championship against the Sky Pirates at TakeOver San Jose? It would have been awesome. That way they can live up to that, go back and have a match in NXT again, a place that they built. But instead, Sasha Banks now was just left with nothing to do. if they're not going to get them the tag titles back, I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think, you know what? Have them get a rematch against the Iconics. Take the titles off of them. Take the titles off of them and have that match. Give them a longer title reign again. Because I felt, honestly, for WrestleMania, that the plan was to have Sasha and Bayley hold on until maybe like SummerSlam or something like that. And then hopefully these two be ready by then. Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir take the women's tag titles off of them. But either way, either Sasha or Bayley, I'm going to say Sasha needs to go to SmackDown. Create some depth in that women's division, just change the scenery. Sasha Banks to SmackDown. Cedric Alexander to SmackDown. I still like to see him turn heel and feud with Mustafa Ali out of jealousy. I mean, I love Cedric again. I praised him when I met him on Monday at WrestleMania Access. But to be fair, again, he's done all he can do on 205 Live. Now he's just, hanging around there. And maybe, Oni Lorcan maybe wrestling next week, maybe beating him will write Cedric off 205 Live and go to SmackDown. Because again, as I said, the guy will be a world champion. I want to see him fight AJ Styles one day. I think the best thing he should do is go to SmackDown, turn heel, have a feud with Mustafa Ali. I see Cedric Alexander going to SmackDown. Nikki Cross going to SmackDown as Sanity stays there. EC3 goes to SmackDown. Hopefully he'll be used. And Ricochet going to SmackDown. Kairi Sane go to SmackDown. And this is going to be a shocker, Io Shirai also. I just don't know which tag team it's going to be that Paige is saying she's bringing to the SmackDown next week. And who else is there besides Kairi Sane and Io Shirai is really developed that well in NXT. And of course, Kairi's supposed to be having this match next week where she gets an opportunity for the championship. It's her last chance, or if not, she's never going to get another opportunity again. Maybe that's going to be her swan song. If Kairi's not champion, what else does she got to do again? She can have a match with Io and Sasha and Bayley in on NXT Takeover San Jose, but shoot. But so I feel like, again, who else is Paige going to bring? So we'll see. Hopefully it's not like team like, Nia Jax and Tamina. We'll see, of course, what happens. But yeah, those two there. So for SmackDown, people should go to SmackDown. Finn Balor, the B Team, Braun Strowman, the Revival, Elias, Ember Moon, Sasha Banks, Cedric Alexander, Nikki Cross, Kairi Sane, Io Shirai, EC3, and Ricochet. Those are my picks for the Superstar Shakeup. Check the live chat and see what we got here. Sammy on Raw is already there. We need a GM for Raw. Stone Cold for Raw, sure. SmackDown gets Sting? Nice. We got Aaron Velez. What's up, Aaron? Saying, hey guys, I want AJ Styles, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, Nakamura, and going to Raw. Riot Squad to stay on Raw, it feels, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Big Show to SmackDown, he already is there. Alexa SmackDown, I'd be for that. I'd give her something fresh since she's done so much on Raw already. And keep Miz on SmackDown. I think he's going to stay on SmackDown because I feel, again, his feud with Shane's not done yet. But guys, thank you for stopping the live chat, guys. I mean, I'm tired. I'm going to get ready to go to bed. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to catch up on the turn alerts. I have two I want to do. Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. And then just stay tuned for more odds and then to come to the channel as always. Again, I'm trying to knuckle down on, the last couple retired baseball players I have for this season. Then I'm not going to do any baseball videos for a while. I'm just going to get all the players' statistics done before I ever do more baseball videos. And then I'm going to try to get, Adam Project done. And then, of course, once I start finishing my next couple of video games, I'm going to kind of wind down videos for a while because I've been trying to do so much anymore, which, I have fun doing, but I need to, the normal stuff, the live streams and whatnot is not going to change. But I feel like, video games and stuff like that, I might need to back off on a little bit for a while because I'm getting a little burned out, to be honest. But, of course, talking wrestling is not going anywhere. But, yeah, guys, so leave your thoughts for the Superstar Shakeup down in the comment section below. Slap a like on my videos, subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAir93. And that, guys, I'm checking out. I'll see you guys all later. Have a great night. Peace out, everybody.